I'm Janet Pierce. This is Ann Wagner-Jorgensen and Cynthia Stratman, who is filming. Our project was to access alternative sources of income. The problem that we had was that the existing income sources for River of Life MCC had declined radically in the last year, and we needed to access alternative sources of income. We came up with 4 primary concepts and ideas. These 4 are doing a spaghetti supper, putting vending machines outside of the building to bring in income from other ways, painting the building using getting grants for the materials and volunteers, and putting in a Gates Foundation grant fighting GLBTQI homelessness, which is gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual, intersex questioning, and all of that. Okay, we faced a number of constraints. The primary constraint was that we had limited resources, both in terms of cash and in terms of people. The church had a membership of about 40. We had a few additional people from the Diversity Pride Center, and the bulk of those were either children and youth or disabled folks, and just were not able to do much labor. Cash obviously was limited. That's the reason we're needing to do things. So in dealing with that particular constraint, we grabbed the low-hanging fruit. We already have conducted and completed a spaghetti supper. We raised $400 from that. Some of that came from the same existing group of folks, but at least half of it came from other people that weren't normally donating to the church. Another constraint we had was competition. Several of our things, the vending machines and the Gates Foundation in particular, had constraints of competition. The way we dealt with that was by our competition constraint was by teaming with our competitors and by communicating with the people who were in competition with us to show how our competition could be a good thing for both of us. Societal constraints were adverse. We had some adverse societal constraints, particularly history. Our history constraints were that the church is seen, the church universal is seen as homophobic and anti-gay, and from amongst the gay and lesbian community. And from the church community, again, the universal church community, gays are perceived to not be Christian and not to be able to be Christian. So even though we're a church that's a predominantly gay and lesbian church, a gay church is still an oxymoron from either of those two groups. And we dealt with that constraint also by communication and by team building. We've decided this particular chart that we got this last week was helpful, we thought. We had come intuitively to the same decisions. We focused on the 2 quadrants that could be successful. Low time and energy involvement on the spaghetti suppers, but also low return. We didn't get a lot of money. On the other hand, we did long time commitment but high return. We've put in a grant. We have completed that. It's been through the first round of things. We are in the running. We're in the final tier of things for a $100,000 grant, and this is totally money from outside of the community. This grant also gave us the opportunity to really work with folks in the community to do something that would address some of our particular needs, one of which was deferred maintenance on the building. This will allow us to renovate and provide shelter for homeless young adults and deal with problems of needing to paint the building and do all sorts of things like that. So this class has been an exciting thing. It's allowed us to really, I hate the term think outside of the box, but it has caused us to think in many, many different ways and come up with some innovative solutions that it looks like are going to make a difference.